Growing up, I had a secret desire to become a millionaire. That number had a certain enchantment about it. I immediately realized that I didn't know a lot about personal finance when I took my first job out of college. This was going to be a problem for me in my quest to join the billionaire club. I started reading all I could get my hands on about the topic. I had two aims in mind. Find out how the American financial system operated first. Second, choose some doable actions that I might do in my life to begin on the road to billionaire status. At that time, my desire to understand how regular Americans lived, managed their money, and acquired the possessions they held and applied to my own life was verging on obsessional. The Millionaire Next Door is here. I share the aforementioned experience to illustrate why one of the first books I read at this moment really blew me away. The Millionaire Next Door was authored in 1996 by Thomas Stanley, PhD, and William Danko, PhD. It remains one of my all-time favorite books to this day, and I heartily endorse it to anybody seeking to understand personal finance. The two doctorates wish to learn the methods of the rich. Here are my top takeaways from The Millionaire Next Door, which everyone may use to improve their life. Lesson number 1. Spending less than you make. Many people find it quite challenging to refuse pointless purchases. A portion of this is motivated by the desire to acquire prestige items or to pursue a particular lifestyle. In order to stay up with the neighbors in a status neighborhood, one must continue purchasing status items. This is what has caused consumer debt to reach extremely high levels. With the conflicting desire to pay off debt, building wealth is practically impossible. Lesson number 2. Income does not equal wealth. We assume that a higher income equates to more wealth, but the data from the book show quite the contrary. Thomas and William devised a method to ascertain whether your net worth and income are in balance. Divide the result of your age times your yearly family income by 10. For instance, a 40-year-old who makes $100,000 before taxes should have a net worth of $400,000. It is simple to determine if you are a prodigious accumulator of wealth or PAWs, an underaccumulator of wealth or UAWs, or an average accumulator of wealth based on this guideline, AAW. What actually matters when it comes to money is how much is spent and how much is invested. Lesson number 3. Learn the right investing strategies. Investment techniques utilized by PAWs aim to raise non-taxable incomes while lowering taxable income. These include, at a high level, investment vehicles like 401ks, IRAs, etc. Additionally, they devote more effort to investing and financial planning. Compared to UAWs, they often spend 83% more time preparing their financial destiny. This does not indicate that they are day traders, but rather that they are more deliberate about their investment decisions and are prepared to allow their capital some time to grow. Lesson number 4. Choose the right career. One of the most fascinating lessons was perhaps this one. The occupations we consider to be prestigious are those that are most likely to result in a lifestyle similar to the UAW. This includes physicians, dentists, attorneys, and doctors. They devote a lot of time to studying, and many of them wind up accruing significant amounts of student debt as a result. They tend to desire to live a consumption-focused lifestyle when they eventually graduate and begin working, since it is what society expects of them. They can amass riches, but they must consciously choose to live within their means and concentrate on PAW's lifestyle practices. Parents want their children to receive the greatest education possible and pursue professions in this field, but it's crucial to instill these values in them before they leave the house. It's crucial to emphasize to them that their degree of money and education are unrelated. Lesson number 5. Live intentionally. Do you know how much your family spends on food, clothes, and housing each year? About 2/3 of millionaires were able to respond positively to the question, compared to only 35% of high earners with modest wealth. When asked if they had a set of daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and lifetime goals that were clearly stated, an equal percentage of millionaires said yes. This demonstrates how this group organizes their life and allots the resources required for those goals. They don't let life happen to them, and as a result, they don't find themselves in circumstances when they are compelled to borrow money. Lesson number 6. Choose carefully the car you drive. In modern America, automobiles stand for independence and freedom. After a house, it's definitely one of the most costly purchases. The car's primary function is to act as a mode of transportation. However, according to the author, more money is spent on this than is necessary, and it has become a status symbol. On this, I tend to concur with them. The book claims that UAWs will spend a great deal of time looking into and shopping for a new automobile. They ultimately drive the newest model, which was bought new, along with the newest enhancements, and are almost certainly financed. However, PAWs often drive older models that are a few years old and hardly ever drive brand new luxury vehicles. Priorities and how you choose to spend your money are the key factors. Lesson number 7. Watch out for generational wealth destruction. Children who grow up in a UAW family are more likely to become UAWs, claim Thomas and Williams. Additionally, there is a good chance that their parents did not provide them any financial education, including lessons on budgeting and investing. These children have a propensity to develop a strong sense of entitlement and to grow up feeling that their current way of life is something they were born with. They anticipate continuing to live the same way in the future, regardless of their income. Parents continue to provide financial support after their children leave the house. This practice is known as economic outpatient care, or EOC. The authors claim that this is a significant aspect in how the UAW attitude is transmitted to the children. The adults continue to lead extravagant lifestyles, the parents continue to assist, but the total wealth decreases with each succeeding generation. Generational wealth destruction UAWs. A noteworthy finding that is still very applicable today: the first generation in the nation often puts in a lot of effort, is extremely thrifty, saves a ton of money, and is the epitome of PAWs. The majority of their modest companies are how they largely leave riches to their offspring. The children work at the company, though they occasionally decide to pursue other endeavors. They start living like UAW members by spending more and saving less. The third generation sells the remaining items and keeps moving toward the UAW land. The fourth generation completes the process of generational wealth destruction. They start out with very little, squander it all, and become bankrupt. Knowing this allows us to begin educating and assisting our children in learning what awaits them if they don't learn some of these lessons. Lesson number 8. Wealth doesn't mean luxurious cars and large homes. As you may already know, it might be tempting to assume that someone is wealthy if they reside in a posh area and own pricey things. But the writers of this book discovered that this is not always the case. Millionaires generally resided in lower-class neighborhoods where you'd never equate them with wealth. Because of this, it's not always wise to judge a book by its cover. Lesson number 9. Financial security beats out social status. We reside in a culture that is performance-based even more so than it was in 1996, the year the Millionaire Next Door was released. Your financial highlight reel is visible on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and many other social media platforms. Everyone is vying to appear the wealthiest and most successful. What the authors discovered in 1996 is still valid today, I suppose. Instead of becoming sidetracked by items that make them appear prosperous in the perspective of friends and acquaintances, millionaires discreetly set up a life of affluence. Lesson number 10. Income and age can help determine wealth. When it comes to discussing wealth, many people have different ways of calculating how rich someone is. However, Stanley and Danko developed a simple method of calculating wealth. They took their age and multiplied it by their annual pre-tax income and divided it by 10. This formula was then used to determine if someone had wealth that was equal to or exceeding $1 million. Now, this method may not reveal all the specifics of your income. However, it is an acceptable starting point for seeing your wealth status. Go out and grab a copy of this book if you haven't already. The link to this book is given in the description of this video. You'll gain a deeper understanding from all the stories and examples presented and learn many things that are not covered in our summary. So, that was it for today's video. If you enjoyed this summary and learned something new, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more educational and informative videos. See you at the next one. Till then, goodbye.